Listen to the radio, Harry and Edna's Wireless Show. You heard it from the Three Bells.
Watto, and welcome to Harry and Edna on the Wireless. And this week, in between young Harry trying to master the art of doing the Charleston, young Edna's been out and about meeting some chums called the Spitfire Sisters, and we're going to dedicate most of the show to this amazing trio and play some of their tip-top tunes. Because, well, they've just come an awful long way to talk to us, and I think you're going to love hearing from them. Now, don't forget, this is Harry and Edna on the Wireless. If you enjoy the show, you can hear us via internet streaming, podcast, FM and internet radio. And if you want to find out how the best way to hear us, just go to harryandedna.co.uk and click on the tab that says Wireless, which is kind of ironic because you must be listening to be hearing this. Anyway, that's enough natter by me. We're going to play some tunes and then it's straight over to young Edna, who's with the amazing Spitfire Sisters.
What ho!
Today we are joined on the show by the Spitfire Sisters. Welcome to the show, girls.
Thank you very much for having us.
So, can one or all of you describe to our listeners who are the Spitfire Sisters?
What a question. We are vintage music makers. Myself, Louisa and Hannah, I'm Anna, and our band, we go out and we perform big band swing numbers and original numbers and modern numbers with a vintage twist. And
how would you describe that kind of vintage twist? What's the little twist that you put into your music?
It's sort of a little bit of cheeky sort of humour and just light-hearted fun, giggles really, I suppose.
So what got you girls into the scene, into joining together and becoming the Spitfire Sisters? Did you all know each other beforehand? Is it something that you've always wanted to do since singing into a hairbrush in front of a mirror?
We've all known each other for a long time. We all did youth theatre together. But it's Louisa's fault that we are in this professional outfit. Yes. So she sent us both sent me and Anna a message to say, so I think we should do this, and that's how it's been ever since. It's very persuasive, but it's been great. Yeah, challenges and more challenges, but fun, mostly fun.
So
fun.
Is your background music? Is it something you've studied at school?
I've been. Music's been a really big part of my life, probably since I was 4 and started going along to music club and then learned piano at 7 and started playing the saxophone at probably about 11 and singing lessons and everything else. So but I went to study at college, but then after that decided to go out and just perform because I was involved very heavily in the local music scene anyway, and so I just went out and got the gig experience, got the t-shirts and it went on from there really.
So. Similar really. I started instrument lessons when I was very young. My parents my dad owned a music shop and my mum's a music teacher, so it was in my blood forever. But I never really imagined that it would be my job. You know, people always say to you, "Oh, you'll never make it as a musician," or "It's really competitive." And so I went on and studied design and trained in design. And then came back to this full circle, and I'm so glad I have. It's much easier to get work doing this.
So, because your father owned a music shop, did you ever walk in and go, I just want to learn to play that one?
I did that as a child. I learned the violin, the cello, the piano, the saxophone, flute, clarinet. Wow. We had an oboe. I did the lot.
Were you like Dick Van Dyke, where you had cymbals?
I would say exactly like Dick Van Dyke, yeah.
I just have this vision of like a drum on your back and cymbals on your knees.
Do you know what? Drumming is one of those things that until recently I never took on. And the world is a better place for that.
That's the latest challenge for you.
That is the latest challenge, is trying to sing and keep a rhythm at the same time.
Yeah.
So why the drums? Was it just a challenge you set yourself?
Yeah, well, when we go out, the three of us and our pianist, Louisa drums.
Yeah, but it's a much more reduced kit. I've got brushes and a snare and a ride, I think that's as bad. I've got a stomp box, like a wooden beetroot with tapping on the floor sort of type thing. But that's about as adventurous as I decided to go, without completely overloading myself.
So for those non-technical drumming types, that's the big drum, and the snare sits on top.
We've got the stomp box is to replace the big drum, and then the snare is sort of the probably the loudest one of the whole kit. And then the ride cymbal is the one that you normally get the 10 to 10, 10 to 10 swing rhythm on. So that's what I had. But we've now decided to go further with the drum kit and split it between the three of us. So Hannah is taking the job of the hi-hat, which is the two cymbals together, normally operated by your foot.
I am. You say normally, but Hannah's operating it by. No, I will also be using my foot. Yeah.
So do you girls sort of sing and then you just surround yourselves with instruments?
Yeah, pretty much.
As far as possible, yes. Yeah, and it's been like that on stage. I mean, we all play the saxophone, and we've recently added the flute as well. But yeah, it's nice to have. I mean, we were discussing on the way here the possibility of adding bongos for a couple of songs and congas and the lot. So we're very fortunate we have access to all of these things. Yeah. So it's just we can get the idea and go, well, let's use this, and if it'll fit in the car.
It's nice for us to be versatile as well, and to be able to say sort of, for this song, what's the right sound? What do we want to get for that? And then we can pull on that and say, let's add the flutes in for that. Or it's nice to have those options,
and it adds another layer to our performance as well. So we can kind of introduce different things for different songs and add things for the audience's experience as well, which is nice.
And be accompanied on stage by 101 different instruments.
Yes, and no more band members because we've taken over all their jobs, which they are not happy about. But yeah.
We need them as well.
Yeah, we love our band.
What ho!
How did you decide what road you were going to go down thereafter?
Well, I suppose it was. I've been playing jazz for a very long time and playing in small bands and learning all the standards and singing and playing those. But it was actually the impetus for this was going along to Lindy Hop lessons and really getting the bug for that. And the music that they were playing reminded me how much I loved that style and the swing. And I sort of grew up on the Andrews Sisters Christmas album coming out every year, so I've got a real soft spot in my heart for that sound, that particular sound. And I knew that these ladies were excellent singers, so I thought we'd get together one evening and have a go at some Andrews Sisters covers, record it, hear it back, and go from there really. And it was all right. Yeah. After an evening's rehearsal, it's okay. Yeah.
It wasn't enough to stop us.
Yeah.
The neighbours didn't complain.
Yeah. But we had our first performance. We did 5 songs at a Lindy Hop tea dance just to give us the opportunity to see whether it was going to work. And it went really well, and we had really good feedback. And so we sort of went from there, gathered momentum, added new songs to our repertoire. And got some more gigs.
And here we are.
Yeah.
Several years later.
Yeah.
What ho!
This is Harry and Edna on the wireless, and I hope you're enjoying the show because this is absolute corker. Now, if you're enjoying the show and you want to listen to it again, what you can do is go to harryandedna.co.uk, that's harryandedna.co.uk, and click on the tab that says wireless. And not only will it tell you the times we are broadcasting, but also the chance to listen to the entire back catalogue. Nearly all our previous Harry and Edna shows are there to listen to, and I do warn you, there's several years' worth. But don't touch that dial just yet. Let's have another absolute corker of a track.
What ho!
So after your first performance, did you all get a buzz from it? Was there an excitement there, a want to kind of go, let's carry this on and see how far we can go?
Yeah, it felt really good. But there wasn't an immediate sort of let's make a career out of this.
I don't think we ever believed we would make a career from it. I think we all thought it would be fun.
But yeah, that's how it started really, just because we absolutely loved it. And it sort of it naturally evolved and gathered momentum, and more people in the area knew about us, and we got a bit of a following, and it went from there.
I think I was in a bit of denial about how much we were doing as well, because I was working full-time in London and coming back in the evenings and coming back for weekends. And then I think one Christmas I was like just in the back of the car like, oh, we've got too many gigs. And I was like, no, we don't have too many gigs. We've got enough. So I quit my job.
Too many jobs.
Yeah, I've got too many jobs. So I quit my job because it was suddenly, this was it. This was the viable career. And that was an amazing feeling to be like, you did this. Yeah. I was pointing to Louisa then, that wasn't self-congratulations. I did this. We did this, yeah.
So how do you make that decision? Is it quite a difficult decision to kind of say, let's do this for real? Because I guess lots of people probably talked you out of it or tried to put you off making a go of it as a career. But at what point did you say, do you know what? No, we think this will be all right?
Well, I don't think once we began, I don't think anyone was negative about it. It was just sort of historically, you brought up thinking that it's going to be hard and it's going to be competition. And then, but once we'd sort of started doing it, I don't think anyone really challenged it. But everyone was really happy we were doing it, and everyone was enjoying it. All our families were so supportive and came along to everything.
Still do. Yeah, they still do. Yeah.
So how do you build up your song repertoire? Because I guess historically there's only so many songs you can do from a particular era that's a 3-part harmony, or am I wrong? Is there a huge source that you can draw from?
There are so many. They're just amazing. We're still kind of going through Andrew Sisters' albums and thinking, that's one we've not done before. We've just started learning.
Yeah, in fact, I thought my knowledge of Andrew Sisters' songs was pretty complete. But there was a brand new, new to me, compilation that I put in the car the other week. Somebody was emptying their house. They said, "We've got this, so you'll love it." And so I got, okay. I looked at the back. There were 1 or 2 that I didn't know, and one of them I absolutely fell in love with. It's called "Money is the Root of All Evil," and it's delivered really tongue in cheek. It's going to be really fun, and I love it so much that we're going to perform it in a few months' time at our summer concert. So yeah, right out. I think that'll probably have flutes in that one. Just a warning there.
Add that to the list of things to do. Yeah.
How do you take a song then? If you hear a song, is it something that you kind of have to transcribe to a way that you can all pick it up and sing the vocals, or do you have to try and track down the sheet music? How do you then go from listening to it in the car to actually performing it on stage?
We've got a really mixed bag about how we collate our music. Some of it is available to buy as big band transcriptions already. Some of it we've had commissioned by some of the musicians that we work with. Some of them I've done myself, especially the ones that are in my head already. Some that don't even exist. So I feel very fortunate that I've over the years learnt the skills to be able to do that. To be able to hear, and then that can translate to any song. It can be a Destiny's Child song that we think, right, well, let's do this in a 3-part harmony, but 1940s way. Yeah. So we've done that, and it can translate to anything.
What ho!
So when you hear your Destiny's Child song and you think, let's do that 40s style, is that quite difficult to do? Our audience is very receptive to hearing a mix of old music, i.e. the Andrews Sisters, alongside a Beyonce number.
They are actually, yeah. We have a really, really good response, and I suppose it's because it's all the way that we perform it. It's all of a similar genre, so they don't necessarily realise that they're listening to a Destiny's Child song, or I'm trying to think of something else equally shocking. Meghan Trainor song, or something from the charts. But yeah, we deliver it with a vintage style, I suppose.
I really enjoy watching people's faces if they're not quite sure what the song is, and they're kind of like dancing along, and then suddenly they're like, I know the words to this one, and singing along. That realisation is a really nice moment.
Do you get a good reaction from people when they realise that they are singing a Beyonce or a Destiny's Child?
Yeah, I think nobody seems to mind. They don't feel like we've kind of Well, I hope so. Nobody's told us yet that we've ruined anything. But it's nice when people recognise it, and if they don't recognise it, they're just enjoying it as the song. That's also nice.
Also it hits different audience as well within the crowd, and it might be that some of the older members of the audience recognise the Andrew Sister songs and they can sing all the words, and then you have sort of the people around our age and younger, and they know the Destiny's Child songs, and so it works for everyone.
Especially we do a big concert at a National Trust property, Hinton Ampner, every year. Details are on our website, which is the spitfiresisters.co.uk. But that's a real kind of family affair. Like, lots of different people come. They bring children, grandchildren, and parents, and so there's something for everybody, which is really nice. Like, everybody can enjoy it.
We have a group celebrating an 18th birthday and a group celebrating an 80th. Like, every year we have that kind of split of like, happy 80th to this person and happy 15th to Sarah in the corner.
So how has the group evolved from where you were a few years ago, and is it something as a group that you want to keep evolving yourselves and changing, or have you got a direction that...
I think it's fairly organic. We're working on a theatre show at the moment, which is something we're hoping to tour next year, and that's working with our band. So we go out there's 11 of us all together, and we really enjoy doing that. It'd be really nice to keep evolving that. But we're also able to split into sort of splinter groups and go out as a much smaller number. So it sort of evolves in different directions depending on what the work is, which is quite nice.
We like to try and tailor ourselves to the event, I suppose, depending on sort of scale, and because we appreciate that not everywhere can take an 11-piece band. Yeah. So we try and think of creative ways to keep that energy, but have us in a smaller package. So that hence the splitting up the drum kit and doing things like that. So,
do you go the whole hog when you perform? Is it not just the songs but the look and because you are beautifully dressed today?
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we very much enjoy the dressing up and the costumes, and we've kind of gone from having one outfit to having many outfits.
We need
which we're incredibly lucky because we are dressed by Lindy Bop for some events, which is brilliant. We've had costumes made for us by my mother. Just love it. Thanks, Mum. And we're working with a milliner as well, Marvellous Millinery in Winchester, and that's fantastic as well to actually be able to put in some input, and he's brilliant and creates kind of
comes up
the
with
visions
incredible
in our head,
things that are so appropriate for each of us.
Yeah.
Just a few words of, we need something for this, a bit like this, and then he comes back with these incredible creations.
We didn't know that's what we wanted until we saw it. Like, how did you know? But it's so much fun to really embrace that side of it and dress up and.
But we like being able to capture our own personalities within the outfits, rather than sort of having three of the same, because we are three very different people, and we try and celebrate that through our act, I suppose. But by the extension of our personality through what we're wearing, and seems to be working out all right so far.
And is it a help when you dress up? Do you become kind of the Spitfire Sisters because you've got the hair done, the dress is done?
A bit of both. I think to some extent that is definitely the case, but I think all three of us try and embrace that in everyday life, and
it's just spilled over into everyday life, hasn't it?
Yeah.
You can't go shopping without wanting to reach for the vintage and pick out something else.
And the Spitfire Sisters are very much in the now. We appreciate what's going on nowadays. We're not trying to be vintage, and so it's not like we're putting on costumes and going back in time. We are
That's how we live our lives.
Three people who really enjoy the music and a lot of the things from the era. So it's a bit of both, really. I think it helps us.
I find it very like a calming routine to put on makeup and get ready in terms of like a performance.
Yeah,
I like that kind of routine of it. But I never thought I would be somebody who wore lipstick like every day or every other day. I thought I can't trust myself. I'm going to get it all over my face. And now it's like, now I feel like, I'm leaving the house. Better put my lipstick on. And that's really nice to kind of adopt these things that I thought were just for performance, but actually it's a really nice thing to do every day.
And we can't have a cup of tea at Louisa's house without it being in fine vintage china.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I do have quite a collection. It is a problem.
Does it taste different out of vintage china?
Absolutely, yes.
So much.
Yeah.
She even picks teacups which she thinks we'll enjoy drinking from, each one of us individually.
I'll be in a shop and I think, Anna would really appreciate that pattern.
So I have to buy it.
So she buys it, and then
You're going to have to come have tea because I've got the thing.
supporting local charity shops. I have to say, which
It's very important to support local charities.
yeah.
That's right.
What ho?
Okay, what are you going to sing for us?
We're singing a bit of a song called "The Old Ones Are the Best," which I wrote and is available on our album, which is available on our website, thespitfiresisters.com. And Bandcamp, yeah, iTunes, yeah, everywhere. Yeah, let's give it a go. 1, 2, 3.
We're old-fashioned girls at heart. Let us tell you from the start. On everything we must confess that the old ones are the best. Nothing more appeals to me than a good old-fashioned melody with a crackle from an old LP. Yes, the old ones are the best.
Yay! Well done. And that's available on your album called Put Your Phone Away. And that's available where?
It's on iTunes, Amazon, Bandcamp, our website, www.spitfiresisters.com. It's available on everywhere else.
So, and is that the best place to find out where you girls are performing, to get in touch with you, offer you oodles of work and romantic trips away abroad on tour?
Yeah, all of those things.
Yes,
You can keep up with our ramblings on Facebook and Twitter with facebook.com/the Spitfire Sisters and at Spitfire Sisters on Twitter. And we're on Instagram.
We're at the Spitfire Sisters on Instagram.
Are we?
Yes,
Oh, well.
I think.
Okay.
You have to find us
Yeah,
there.
double check, yeah.
Might catch a picture of us today.
Yes.
Well, good luck with your trip to Cornwall. It sounds very exciting. And thank you so much for joining us on the show today. And we look forward to hearing some more of your tracks throughout the show as well. And do go on the website, which is
www.thespitfiresisters.com.
brilliant. Thank you for joining us today, girls.
Thank you for having us.